Dan, introduce yourself and why are you relevant to talk about test program, experimentation program management?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Dan Layfield. I've been running the growth team at Codecademy for kind of 2.5 years. The focus of Codecademy's growth team currently is really like on-site conversion. We're kind of like blessed to have a lot of organic traffic. So really making sure that we can like ship high quality, effective on-site tests is one of like the major levers we have to move the business forward.
Nice. Cool. I've got 3 questions for you, Dan.
Great.
Pretty surgical. The first one is a data question. We've been working with you a long time, and recently in the last few months, kind of leveling up what we do with regards to voice of customer data. Can you speak to that tool, that type of data, those types of insights, and how you're using them and where you're seeing gaps with the program and in terms of applying that data as well?
Yeah, sure. So I think the places we've made the kind of like major steps forward is just the ability to like quickly turn around voice of customer insights. So we've brought on a tool called User Leap, which has been really powerful. Codecademy has always had like a strong culture of like user interviewing, but because our user base is so large and they sit in so many different parts of the world, really be able to get like the right insights from the right types of users quickly is one of like the major things that drives good test results. So I think we've taken like huge steps forward in our ability to just like turn around the voice of customer insights quickly. The places I still think we need to go is like surveying, and voice of customer data is like one way of gathering insights. There's other more like open-ended types of user research, which we haven't done in a couple cycles, which I think would be really, really powerful, as well as just like picking up the overall cadence of the surveying that we do and just make sure we understand like the problems our customers have at any time.
I know you're as you mentioned as well, the broad user base, and that it's been changing over some time as well.
Yeah.
So everything you apply there is pretty relevant in these changing worlds.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So next question, process. Generally, teams are built on function or channel, I should say, and but customer journeys, customer experience is on a journey. So how do you see the experimentation and data insights function working as sort of an underlayment to support those teams that are so channel focused and sometimes quite siloed? So in your experience, where do you see success and maybe expansion across teams for this experimentation function?
Yeah, good question. I mean, I think I'd say like the times where this goes well, like the teams really understand like what makes a good experiment. They're comfortable like enough with the statistics and the design, and they understand like why to run experiments. So the places I've seen like teams fall down in the past is like they're either too shy to run experiments and they just want to like launch something that's risky, or they want to run experiments like just because they want to prove an idea is right. It's like neither of those are like really the right level. Like learning should sit like squarely, and like risk deferment should sit squarely in like why you run experiments. So I think there's a several like component skills which just like other teams need to be like comfortable with before I think they can like really run experiments. It's like, do you have an understanding of like test velocity calculations? Like, can you like laser on a KPI? Can you just like ship something through tooling quickly? And maybe the most important is like, is this experiment idea based off of anything that shows up in user data or analytics anywhere? I think like the experiments that Codecademy is probably sunk the most time into and function the worst is like, hey, we saw another company do something, we should do something.
Yeah, yeah. Your last point there and the one before that, it's like, is it worth testing?
Is
And
it worth testing? Yeah.
having the system there to answer that question.
Yeah, like as a product manager, like I would love to be able to like granularly prove all of my ideas were good ideas. But one, they're not. And two, like it just slows everything down. And like net, the company's in a worse place if you attempt to do that.
Yeah, cool. Last question, people and skills for you guys, I know, have leveraged some CXL training in the past, the CXL Institute. But even more broadly than that, you've been doing experimentation for a couple of years now. What are the kind of the training and the skills that you've seen be valuable? And as you try to think about expanding the program, how do you see training and skill expansion, education being leveraged as you get more people involved in experimentation?
Yeah, good question. I mean, I think the course we probably took first 18 months ago when we started working with you all was like Tom's just A/B testing mastery course,
Yeah.
which was just a great overview for the whole team about like what is the world we're entering. Um, I think the other types of training that are just like really useful to teams as they're learning is like how to prioritize experiment ideas. I think like PXL is a great one. Again, like programs work best when you're churning through the highest confident, fastest to launch, fastest to run ideas really quickly, less like you've always had a thought and it's going to take a long time to run. I think way back when, before we started working with CXL, we had like probably 3 or 4 experiments that like baked for way too long, launched, weren't effective, and then we didn't iterate on them. So like you learned what didn't work on a pricing page, but then like you didn't really do anything with that data and you just moved on to a new part of the app.
Yeah. What you're speaking to is like a program metric that I like to use, which is agility. How
Yeah,
quickly did you go from test result to decision or slash implementation, right?
yeah, agreed.
It's a great program metric. Yeah. So, well, cool. Well, thanks, Dan.
Yeah, no worries, anytime.
Those were the 3 surgical questions. I appreciate it. Thanks, man.